Hey guys, welcome back to GenTwenty. I'm Nicole and this is Benjamin. And today we're going to talk about 25 things that we can do while we're stuck at home. A lot of us are spending more time at home right now, just given the state of the world, and that means we have a lot more time on our hands, free time, I'm not sure. But I just don't want you to get too bored, you know, so we made a list of 25 things that we can do while we're stuck at home. So number one is to make a dent in your to be read pile. So we all, most of us, a lot of us, I don't know, have a lot of books that we kind of put off reading, or we just don't have time to read, or just, you know, a million reasons. But if you're anything like me, you have a list that's probably like 5 miles long that you've been wanting to read for a while. So now is the time, my friends. Now is the time. Number two is to do an at-home workout. If you're used to going to the gym, it can feel really weird to like feel out of your schedule, and you might like not be prioritizing fitness, but as you're probably going to find in like a week or two, that's probably not the best solution for your mental health at the time. So there's tons of at-home workouts you can do. We love less meals. We have a link for a 21-day free trial. If you're interested, I'll leave that below. But like now is just such a great time to do that. Another thing you can do is to audit your finances. We are huge advocates at GenTwenty for really making time to go through your budget and your finances, and especially now as like things might be changing, like a lot of people are really struggling with their employment, local economies are kind of dipping, so it's like might be a good time just to look through your budget and really remind yourself that you don't need to spend money just because you're home and bored. I think a lot of us are going to kind of turn to online shopping right now, so maybe instead of you know, placing orders for things that you've just been window shopping for, why not just shop locally if you can? And like back to the main point, just going through your budget from Q1 and seeing like what maybe your goals are for the rest of the year, you know, like what do you want to do from now. Another thing you can do is to work on strengthening your soft skills. There are tons of courses out there on like Skillshare, LinkedIn. There's tons of websites that have different courses, and now is the time to start honing those skills. So like when you get back in the office, when all this is like passing, you can show your boss that you're ready for like the next step and the next promotion. So the next thing is to deep clean your apartment or your home. I recently moved, so my life is already in like a little bit of chaos, but now is a great time to really go through like your bathrooms, your closets, your drawers, and just really clean everything out. Like spring cleaning next level, spring cleaning extreme, you know. So it's a great time to do that, especially like with allergies happening and like you want to clear out all the dust. Like you can open your windows and just really air out your home. I think it's a great time to do that. So, you know, just making time for that kind of thing. You can also focus on your goals. So instead of like setting resolutions at GenTwenty, we're really big on focusing on goals. And given like just what's going on, a lot of that might be getting pushed to the back burner, but I think it's a great time to just really refocus on what it is you want to accomplish in the rest of the year. Ooh. And just start seeing what you can do at home at the moment to really just work on those goals and work on achieving what you still want to achieve this year. Hey, can you close the door? No? You can't? Okay, anyway, another thing we can start doing now is to clean out our closets. I recently sent a big bag of stuff to ThredUp, and like, no, I'm not making a ton of money off of it, but it's like, I feel better having gotten things out of my closet that I'm not wearing, that I'm not using. It's giving me a lot more clarity to wear things that I really want to wear and really love and like, instead of just forcing myself to wear things that I'm like, that really like embrace my fantasy self, basically. That's like, the one day I'll have the perfect occasion to wear this, or I'm gonna wear this when this happens, and that never happens. So just getting rid of those things has made me feel so much lighter and so much clearer and so much happier. Yes, baby? You think so too? Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so the next thing that we think is a good idea to do right now is to get creative. You don't need anything really fancy for this. Like something that I do when we have some downtime is I like to make homemade cards. So I just use, you know, construction paper, scissors, cardstock, like whatever we have, and I just batch make a bunch of cards. So that's something that I can probably do in the next couple of weeks, just so I have those ready. You can color pictures, maybe go outside and do some like nature art. I actually wrote a book about things that we do as kids that really bring out our creative sides as adults. So I'll pop a picture of it right here. But it's also fun to do those things with kids, fun to do those things with other adults, especially if you're home with other people. Whoa. Hey. Yeah, so just get creative, and like whatever that means for you, you can just go ahead and do it, you know. So the next thing is to play a board game. Again, very fun. Again, something we don't prioritize as much as we probably should. But I love board games. We have a whole cabinet full. I bet a lot of you do too. So just break some out, you know, play with the people around you, you know. It's fun. It's going to be a fun time, okay? Yeah. Alright, the next thing is to watch a show you never normally watch. We all have our go-to shows that we love and are fun, and I'm not really big in TV anymore. Like, I feel like that was something I did a lot in my like early to mid-20s, but now I just don't really watch it on TV. But there are some movies that I've been wanting to watch, you know, like some things that have been on my list that I need to really make the time to see. And then there are shows that people recommend all the time that are supposedly really good, but can you close the drawer? I just haven't watched yet, so, you know, now's the time. Alright, the next thing is to try a new recipe. So, we're all cooking a lot more than normal, let's be honest. So, and we all probably have cookbooks. Yeah. More? More what? I've been really wanting to get my son involved in cooking, so I think now it's going to be a good time to do that. And I know a lot of, like, meal services are still delivering, like, we can still get groceries. So just pick a recipe that you want to make, like whether you're home alone or with your family, and just make it together, you know, like that can be a really fun activity. And it's like, this is a really hard time, but if we make it about bonding and connecting with each other, hopefully we'll have more positive memories of it than negative. So that's just one way to do it. Another thing we can be doing right now is a pantry challenge, which instead of like going out and hoard buying groceries, blah, 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 we can look and see what we have and then make meals out of that, or just buy a couple ingredients that we need to finish out those meals to use up what we have. And I think now's a good time to do that because we don't really need to be panic buying anything and like leaving things on the shelves for other people. So using what we have is just a good way to help us not do that and also save some money during this time. Come here. You want to say the next one? Hi. It's your turn. What are you going to say? The next thing on our list is to listen to a new album because, I don't know, music is just so good and so happy and it can really change your mood. So if you're used to like listening to music on the radio or at the gym, don't like not do that as part of your regular activities. You know, like make time for new music, new albums. There's tons of stuff coming out. You can still support your favorite artists, especially as a lot of them have canceled events and stuff like that. So yeah, just make sure you're listening to new music. And then the next thing that we want to remind you to do is to take some time for a little TLC. It can be really overwhelming to be surrounded by people or to be alone. So I think now is a good time to really make sure that we are each carving out alone time in our day. And if you're spending time alone, make sure you're focusing on like things that are true, you know, self-care, even if they come in the form of like a self-soother. So if, like for me, it's really important for me to really focus on taking an hour of every day for myself, which is a little harder when our schedules are a little different. But, ooh, what did you find? Ooh, look. Ooh. Close it. There you go. So I just feel like it's really important for me right now to make sure that I'm making time for that. And just carving out time for yourself is just so valuable. Alright. Unanimous. But anyway, yeah, I think it's just really important to do that, and then make sure that everyone in your household is taking time to do that as well. So another thing we can be doing right now is catching up with friends and family. like I said, in a previous blog post, I already have like set up FaceTime dates with different people and just like FaceTime dinner dates because we were all really self-isolating. And I just feel like doing that is really important right now, especially because some people might be more isolated than they usually are because they're relying on getting out of their house to really help their mental health, and right now we can't really do that. So reach out to people even if you don't think that they need it or if you think it feels silly. Just make sure you're maintaining those connections. Something else we can be doing right now is build a fort. I have not built a fort in a really long time, and we've been reading the first Harry Potter book to my son, and I think that something we're gonna do in the next like week or two is just build a fort and watch the first Harry Potter movie, and I think it's gonna be really fun. And he's not gonna remember it, but we will. And I don't know, I think building a fort can make this sense of like connection and fun out of a tough situation. And it's also kind of like a physical way that you're hiding yourself from the outside world, which, you know, might not be a bad idea right now. So another thing that we can do that's fun is rearrange your space. I love rearranging my furniture. It makes everything feel so like fresh and new, and that's just something that I have always enjoyed doing, like changing my space around. And something I also like doing is when you feel like you can't do that is to make a Pinterest board and just pin things that you really like, a style that you like, an aesthetic, like just, you know, pieces you might want to buy in the future, and just kind of like let that sit with you while all this is going on. So, you know, maybe in a couple months down the road you might want to buy that, or it's just like a way to, you know, change up your space without really having to do very much. Okay. Another thing we can do right now is just try to be productive. I personally really like to work off of a weekly to-do list because I've spent a year as a stay-at-home and like work from home mom, so I've really learned that if I try to set expectations for myself every day, a lot of times that just doesn't happen, and that makes me feel bad because I haven't accomplished things. And so I found a weekly to-do list to be far more manageable because then I can just kind of get things done as opportunities arise. Like obviously there are sometimes that there's things I need to get done like on certain days, so I've learned that those are the days I need to prioritize those things, but like on a regular basis a weekly to-do list works really great for me, and it feels good to be productive and cross things off your to-do list, doesn't it? Do you not know anything about that? Boom. Okay, whew. So another thing, trying new hairstyle. So I don't ever really do very much with my hair. It's just the last thing that always comes out on my list. But curling my hair is something I really wanted to learn how to do properly because I have like long hair and I feel like it never looks the way I want it to. So that's something I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks. It's one of my own personal goals. Okay, something else we need to do is to check in with ourselves, whether that's meditating, journaling, you know, just sitting quietly for a few minutes. It's important to do and we need to do it. Number 21, sit in a spot you usually ignore. I think something that's really fun and thoughtful about this is the fact that sitting in a spot that you usually ignore means your space might feel completely new to you, and it might feel like you're in a different space, which could feel really helpful when you're kind of confined to your house. So the next thing we can do is try to learn another language. A lot of us attempt this a lot, you know, it doesn't always go well, but I think that it's really, you know, like a cool time to start working on like grammar and vocabulary, and like maybe that's something you can even do with your kids, is to like label different things around your house in Spanish. And it's just fun, something to take up the time, but it's also like semi-educational, so you know, why not do that? Okay, another thing we can do is to plan a dream trip. So travel is not really happening right now. We don't know if travel will be happening for the rest of the year or like what will be going on, but I think that like why not just start thinking about where you want to go. Like a lot of places rely on like tourism to bring in money for their like economy, so they're really going to be like probably putting out a lot of deals and things like that. So why not just start thinking about a trip you want to take and like consider making that happen in the next year. Like again, you can start a Pinterest board with that, talk with your friends, like start a group chat, just get all these ideas flowing and just get people excited, because a lot of times even just thinking about travel is as exciting as traveling to the place itself. So number 24 is to think about your retirement. This is something that a lot of people in my generation, especially like the millennial generation, kind of don't really think about. And my friend Tori from her first 100K is like always encouraging people to up their retirement contributions, and I think now is a good time to do that. I'll leave her Instagram linked below because she has a ton of good resources and information. But I have a couple of articles in the blog as well, like kind of modeling what I think retirement will look like for me and how I'm saving for it and things like that. And I think now is a good time to be thinking about your retirement. And also just like financial tasks that you've been putting off, like your will maybe, calling and negotiating bills. Like I think now is a great time to be doing that. Anything like that, you know, just do what you can with the time that you can, you know. And then the last thing that I think now is a great time to do is to do a digital declutter. Digital minimalism talks about this a lot. We have like a blog post and a video on it. But I think you can just go through your phone, delete old photos that you don't need. You can delete apps you don't use. There's so much stuff that like clutters our lives, like both physically and on our phones and on our computers. Like I know I have so many old files that I need to just delete and go through. And I think now while we have an extra time where we're just like sitting and not doing much is a really good time for that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are staying happy, healthy, and home, and that this video and hopefully our blog post gave you a few ideas of what to do and just inspired you to do more than just sit there and watch Netflix, because there's a ton that we can do even if we are stuck at home. And if you're able to get outside safely, I think enjoying the sunshine and the weather wherever you are is a good thing to do, and just we'll get through this, you know. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.